Okay, let's talk ninjas. When you hear that word, what pops into your head? Probably like
Yeah.
the black suit, silent killer throwing stars, right?
Yeah, that's the common image, definitely. The shadowy figure.
But what if that's just, the Hollywood version? What
Yeah.
if there's something much deeper behind it all? A whole philosophy.
That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're using The Way of the Ninja Secret Techniques by Masaaki Hatsumi. It's translated by Ben Jones.
Okay, Hatsumi. Got it.
And this isn't some ancient scroll, it's from 2004. It's about preserving this martial arts heritage, really focusing on self-defense.
Self-defense. Interesting.
Yeah, and they make a point check with the doctor before trying any techniques. So it's serious stuff, not just cool moves.
Right, right. So our mission here isn't just to look at the secret techniques part. We want to understand the core ideas, the discipline behind ninjutsu as this book presents it.
Exactly. Beyond the flashy stuff, the book itself kind of lays out a roadmap.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, the chapters cover ninjutsu as Japanese art, then Ninpu Taijutsu, the clothing, training methods, hidden teachings.
Wow, okay. So pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, and even the infinite variety of it all. It shows it's more than just sneaking around. It's a whole system.
So for anyone listening who's always been curious about ninjas but felt there was more to it, this is definitely for you. Let's get into it.
Sounds good.
The book kicks off with this really strong idea. The way of war is survival. That feels different from the usual warrior code, doesn't it?
It really does. And the central idea is to win without fighting. That's key.
Win without fighting. How does that work?
Yeah, the book frames ninjutsu's core techniques within the broader Budo, the Japanese martial way, as being fundamentally about preserving life. Survival first.
So victory isn't just beating someone up.
Not necessarily. The ultimate win might just be getting through the situation safely. It's a real shift in thinking.
Yeah, it is. And it brings in these precepts too, right? From Takamatsu Toshitsugu.
That's right. The 33rd grandmaster of Togakure school. The precepts of perseverance in Ninpu. 5 of them.
And they sound less like fight rules and more like life rules.
Pretty much. Endure hardship, behave correctly, don't be greedy, accept sorrow and hate as part of life, and stick to the martial path. It gets to the heart of Budokan Ninjutsu. Building inner character is fundamental.
So it's not just about the moves, it's about who you are.
Exactly. Your ethics, your mindset, that's the foundation.
So thinking about that common image again, a ninja wouldn't actually look for a fight, they'd try to avoid it.
Absolutely. The book stresses avoiding needless conflict. Protection comes from skill, not aggression or, assassination like in the movies.
Yeah.
There's this concept, niniku yoroi, forbearance as spiritual armor.
Spiritual armor, like mental defense.
Kind of. Protecting yourself by not needing to engage. The basic rule is evade the attack. Aim for tonyo no jutsu,
Which means?
the art of disappearing,
Yeah.
vanishing, ultimate de-escalation, you could say.
Wow. Disappearing. That definitely adds another layer beyond just fighting skill. It sounds like resilience is huge.
Totally. Survival, endurance, not just for yourself, but for your family, your clan. It's about that tough spirit, adaptable skills.
And it mentions passing knowledge down directly. Eshisuden.
Yeah, that direct transmission, heart to heart, mentorship is vital. And it even connects to Buddhist ideas like Yuigadakusan, alone in the world, by the light I am exalted. That inner strength.
Okay, so we're seeing a picture that's much more about survival, philosophy, inner strength.
Yeah.
Less about just being a weapon.
Exactly.
What about history? The book mentions it could go back, 4,300 years?
Yeah.
It's ancient.
Yeah, it's a vast time frame. Hard to pin down exactly, of course, but it suggests a really long evolution, layers upon layers of knowledge.
But outside influences, too. China.
Definitely. Chinese philosophy tools the book mentions, those played a role. It didn't just pop up in isolation. It absorbed things.
And it wasn't just one monolithic ninja ink.
Right.
There were different schools.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of diversity. Different schools, or riha, many based in Iga and Kuga regions.
Alicia. Okay.
The book says maybe over 70 were mentioned historically, but who knows the real number? It gives examples like Togakure-ryu, Kotori, Gyokuri.
So, like different flavors or specializations within ninjutsu.
That's a good way to put it. Different techniques, maybe slightly different philosophies, all under the ninjutsu umbrella.
And the training covered, well, seemingly everything, not just combat.
Right. It says ninja knowledge covers all martial ways, at least the basics needed for a shinobi life.
Shinobi.
Yes.
That's another word for ninja.
Yep. And the book lists the 8 branches, ninja hachimon. It's got taijutsu, which is unarmed stuff.
Okay.
Hichojutsu, leaping, climbing. Naonage ropes, Sojutsu spears, Naginata halberds, Senba nage throwing blades, Kajutsu fire, Sujutsu water, even military strategy, Chikujo ganryaku.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's incredibly broad. Not just a fighter, but an all-around operative.
Precisely. And then there's the even broader list, the Ninjutsu happen 18 skills.
18. What else is in there?
That includes spiritual training, Kopo-jutsu bodywork like bone manipulation, sword stick, shuriken, the Kusarigama chain sickle weapon, plus spying, infiltration, hiding, horses, knowing the environment.
It's mind-boggling. They were like the ultimate generalists, skilled in everything.
In many ways, yes. Far more than just assassins.
Okay, let's zoom in on one of those Budo Taijutsu, the unarmed combat.
Yeah.
How does that fit into this huge skill set?
Taijutsu is presented as the absolute foundation. Unarmed body arts, things like ninpujutsu itself, kopujutsu for bones, koshijutsu hitting vital points.
Why is that the foundation?
Because it makes you adaptable. If you don't have a weapon or lose it, your body is the weapon. Essential for survival in any circumstance.
And that principle we mentioned earlier, Sente, not striking first.
Yeah.
That applies here too.
Definitely. It's a cornerstone of Ninpu Taijutsu. Don't attack unless survival depends on it. Reinforces that defensive core.
And the training progresses.
Yeah, from visible, deliberate moves towards, well, invisible, natural ones.
Yeah.
Internalizing it so deep it becomes reflex.
Invisible movements.
Yeah.
Sounds like real mastery. Like you don't even have to think.
Exactly. Thought and action merge. The book talks about kame, too.
Kama.
Battle-ready postures. It translates it as divine protector. Not just static poses, but dynamic frameworks for moving, reacting.
And there are specific types.
Ichimonji?
Yes, Ichimonji no Kamae, a straight line posture, Hira no Kamae level, versatile, and Bobi no Kamae, defensive.
So understanding these stances is key.
Crucial, both for your own techniques and for reading what an opponent might do.
Okay, shifting gears a bit, let's talk clothes. We all picture the black pajamas, right? Is that accurate?
Not entirely. The book clarifies black might be used for night, sure, but typically ninja gear was dyed with sappanwood.
Sappanwood, what color is that?
It gives you colors that blend better, naturally dark blues, browns, earthy tones, more practical camouflage than just pure black. The basic outfit is called Ninniku armor.
So blending in, not just being a shadow. What about indigo dye? The book mentions that specifically. Yeah, it notes indigo was used partly for the dark color, but also maybe belief it protected against poisonous snakes.
Really?
And it was associated with victory. So practical, maybe superstitious, maybe psychological elements too.
Fascinating. And paper armor. Ami-yoroi, that sounds flimsy.
It probably was. Likely used more for disguise, evasion, quickly changing appearance, maybe a minimal barrier, not for stopping a sword, you know?
Right.
It also mentions the armor of the 4 clans, different colors like black, violet, green, yellow, used for Hensojutsu.
Which is?
The art of disguise. Changing your appearance, again, adaptability, blending in.
So much more about deception and fitting in than heavy armor. And the book links this to Yugen. What's that?
Yugen. It's a subtle concept, like a deep, profound beauty that isn't obvious. For a ninja, it relates to being unremarkable, blending in.
So by not standing out, they become harder to see, harder to notice.
Exactly. Quiet effectiveness. It connects back to that idea of avoiding conflict if possible.
It all ties together. Okay, how did they develop these skills and this mindset? What about the training methods?
The training sounds incredibly holistic. Physical endurance, yeah, but also balance. Silent movement, that's taijutsu, and huge emphasis on mental and emotional strength.
Conditioning the whole person.
Totally.
Does it give examples of exercises?
It does. Things like walking on ice, wearing geta, those wooden sandals for balance.
Wow, okay. That sounds hard.
Definitely. Also, daily practice, walking with tiny steps, walking sideways, yoko uruki, learning to handle uneven ground, sekushin sokushoho.
So refining basic movement to an extreme degree.
Yes, and interestingly, just watching skilled people move is mentioned as a way to learn. Observation.
And disguise walking. Henso Hokujutsu.
Right, changing how you walk to match your disguise so your movement doesn't give you away, making the role complete.
Makes sense. What about diet? That must have been important for peak condition.
Crucial. The book describes a diet focused on unpolished brown rice, vegetables, whole foods for energy and recovery.
No junk food, basically.
Pretty much. Avoiding refined sugar, processed stuff, very practical fuel for a demanding life.
Simple, effective. It mentions shinobi steps and odo uruki, too. Sounds specialized.
Yeah, shinobi steps are different ways of walking for different needs. Stealth, escape, etc. Odo Uruki, sound steps, is wild. 30 different methods.
30 ways to walk.
Yeah, either to be silent or to deliberately make misleading sounds. Incredible detail.
Mind-blowing. And navigating tough terrain. Like walls, trees.
Yep. Iwaruki, walking across walls like a lizard, shows amazing balance and grip. And Shoten no Jutsu, running straight up a cedar tree.
Running up a tree.
Shows incredible agility using the environment, mastery of movement.
Then there's Haiko Jutsu, flying techniques. That sounds maybe a bit exaggerated.
Well, flying here means highly developed jumping, toby, and leaping skills. Not actual flight, obviously.
Ah, okay. More like parkour ninjas.
Sort of, yeah. Using agility and momentum to clear obstacles, cover ground, gain advantages, different kinds of leaps for different situations.
Extraordinary agility, then. Okay, we've covered skills, training. The book ends with hidden teachings. What's the deeper philosophy here?
It talks about the universality of ninjutsu's philosophy, connecting it to basic human experience, maybe even the origins of humanity, understanding principles beneath the techniques.
And yin and yang comes up.
Yes, fundamental, understanding that balance of opposites, the interconnectedness of everything, how forces interact.
So seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly. Perceiving the universe, existence, beyond just physical strength or immediate problems. Developing a wider, deeper awareness.
Now what about Kyujitsu Tenkan-ho? Manipulating truth and falsehood. Sounds like spycraft.
It definitely ties in. It's about strategically managing perception, deception, misdirection, controlling information flow, influencing things without direct force.
Very psychological. And the book even links ninjutsu to art, like tea ceremony.
Yeah, it draws that parallel. The dedication, the discipline, the refined awareness needed in ninjutsu is similar to what's cultivated in arts like tea ceremony or flower arranging.
Oh, yeah, also.
Through deep commitment to any path, you learn to see true quality, the essence of things. Whether it's a technique or a flower, it's about developing holistic sensitivity.
So it's total development, physical, mental, even aesthetic, leading to this deep understanding. The book finishes saying, Ninpu Taijutsu embodies human vitality itself. That's big.
It is. It brings it back to that core idea. Ninjutsu is about our fundamental ability to survive, adapt, endure. It needs deep engagement with nature, constant learning.
Wow. Well, this deep dive into the way of the ninja has really opened my eyes. It's so much more than the cliche, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's this whole system built on survival, adaptability, understanding yourself, understanding the world.
And that idea of winning without fighting is just really powerful.
It really is. And like you said, we've barely scratched the surface of what's in Hatsumi's work. So much depth there.
So for everyone listening, maybe think about this. How could those principles, adaptability, looking deeper than the surface, apply in your own life, your own challenges?
Yeah, that's a great takeaway.
And maybe even ponder that art of winning without fighting. How might that look in your everyday interactions or when you're chasing your goals? Definitely some food for thought.